All right, I'm Stephen Brown, the COO of LedgerGurus, and today I have with me Lance Brandow of Brandow Consulting. We want to talk about inventory management. So, Lance, just give me a quick background on Brandow Consulting.
Brandow Consulting was founded in 2007 for the sole purpose of helping companies that own inventory software have a successful experience implementing the software, which basically means two things: setting it up right and using it properly.
Okay, great. So let's start out by, what does inventory management entail? When you go to a customer, what and they're saying, "Hey, I need help with inventory." What is the scope of inventory management?
Well, it depends on if they're managing their own inventory, someone else's inventory, and whether the inventory is in their warehouse or someplace else. So it can mean a lot of different things, because there's rentals, there's e-commerce, there's all different types of inventory. So managing is basically overseeing the inventory. And the main characteristic of inventory that needs to be managed is movement.
Gotcha. What are the dangers specifically about e-commerce? We do a lot with e-commerce businesses. What are the biggest dangers you've seen with poor inventory management?
Well, if someone has poor inventory management, they're going to suffer from stock outs or overstock. They're going to suffer from lost inventory as well. In my own kitchen, my kids put the dishes away, and I couldn't find a pizza cutter the other day, so what did I do? I went to the store and bought a new one. It cost me $5. Think about that on a grand scale in a warehouse.
And is this something you run into a lot of times when you first engage with a customer?
Yeah, they struggle with stockouts and overstocks, and they also struggle with visibility. They come to me saying, "We need something that we can run reports from." Mm-hmm. So it's usually someone in the upper echelons, the chief in charge, that notices things are going wrong.
What type of decisions do you see companies wanting to make with inventory management? So you say they don't have visibility. What is it that they're looking to gain visibility on?
They want to see their turnover rate. They want to see which products are most popular and which ones maybe they should discontinue. They want to see who's messing up and who's doing a good job. Yeah. And reward good behavior and good processes.
You and I talked earlier, a lot of times you go in and they're running off of like spreadsheets, right?
Right.
And so you're taking them from spreadsheets, and when we discussed earlier, the challenge with spreadsheets is they don't scale, right?
Yeah.
So for those that are out there using spreadsheets to manage their inventory, what are the pitfalls that they run into that say, "Hey, I need to up my inventory management game"?
Yeah. Spreadsheets are manual. Just so manual. You can't keep up with them. Inventory is constantly moving. And if you have to go to a spreadsheet to update your inventory, you're already behind. It's called latency. You're suffering from latency.
And so that latency leads to the overstocking and the stock outs, like you discussed earlier, that you're not up to what's actually going on in your business.
Yeah, if you have a 2-hour latency, your inventory's off for 2 hours. If you have a 2-day latency, your inventory's off for 2 days.
And here we are, we're after Black Friday 2019. That can mean big dollars depending on the time of year that you're selling, right?
Yeah. If you don't have availability posted on your website, customers will see, "Oh, they're out, I can't buy it." But you may not be out. So accuracy is a big deal too.
Or worse yet, you show availability, then you don't have it, customer orders it, and then I actually had this experience a couple months ago. I went to order some shoes, and I bought them, and they said, "Oh, it's going to take a while to fulfill," and then it was literally like a week, almost 2 weeks later, they said, "Oh, we actually found we didn't have the inventory in stock." My desire to do direct business with that company, will I still buy their product? Yes. Will I buy it from them? No, right? Because I know they don't. Their online game is terrible. Right?
Yeah.
So
And reviews are a big deal these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
You can write a review about anyone online, and you want good reviews.
Yeah, I like the product, so I'll go back and buy it. But if it's a first time experience with the company, you might not come back, right?
Right.
So Lance, what are the main differences for inventory management between an e-commerce business and a brick and mortar business?
They need different software and they need a different process. So with inventory and inventory software, it's all about the process, because inventory is moving and you're using people. So an e-commerce process would look completely different from a brick and mortar process. An e-commerce process would be you overseeing and tracking your inventory in other warehouses. A brick and mortar company would entail that you are tracking your own processes. You're doing your own receiving, you're doing your own picking, you're doing your own shipping, you're doing your own cycle counting, you're doing your own movements. You've got hands-on, and it's a different process and a different software.
So one of the differences with e-commerce businesses is that many of them will use a 3PL. And how does inventory management differ when you're using a 3PL, and why would you use a tool?
Well, a 3PL is basically just outsourcing your inventory management, right? So it really simplifies your internal needs for human resources and space, but you also lose some control, and you may be even losing some visibility because someone else is controlling your inventory and watching your inventory. So it's good to have a software that connects to the 3PL software. So you can also see, say, the value of your inventory and also reconcile with what you think your inventory should be with what they're telling you the inventory actually is.
So hold them accountable.
Right.
Gotcha. So to your point, 3PLs aren't great about tracking the value of inventory.
Right. 3PLs are focused on how much space your product is taking up in their warehouse and how many times they have to touch your product. That's the business they're in. They don't care about the value of your product or if you're making a profit.
And so thus the need for an inventory management tool.
Yeah. You should still be tracking your own inventory from a value perspective and a flow perspective. So there's accountability and you can reconcile with their reports.
So inventory management, it's a daunting task for an e-commerce business. Where do you suggest they start?
I think outsourcing to a 3PL is a great way to start. For these young business owners that have a great idea, they want to get their product out here, this is a great time to start a business. But then just understand that as your business grows, transitions will happen. And you'll want to control your inventory more, and you'll want to see your inventory more. So just plan ahead and understand that the 3PL may not last forever. You may want to bring some of that in.
There's a lot of inventory management solutions out there. How do you recommend people make a decision around what to use?
So first of all, we've got Google. We can really search. I go to a site called Capterra. That's an awesome site to search for the type of inventory you're looking for. You can also go to an expert consulting company if you like the hands-on touch, right? It may be even daunting to go out and do the search yourself. If you want someone else to advise you, then I would recommend go to a consulting firm. If you want to get it done on a budget and quickly, I would say don't only look for high ratings, but also look for volume of ratings. And look for the features that you need. Write down your entire process and look for an inventory software that will track those processes. And if you're still unsure about what you're doing, that's a good indicator that you should ask for help.
All right, well, thanks, Lance, for joining today. This has been really insightful. And where can people contact you if they would like to learn more about Brandow Consulting?
www.brandowconsulting.com.
Okay, thanks, Lance.
Yeah.